So hey everyone, I'm Manu, and Manu Bhaiya. So we have Chitwan Manchanda with me here, and he actually got 3 offers for data science profile, and two of them are full-time offers, and one of it's internship and a performance-based PPO. So he got offered from full-time offer from Simple, and all on data science profile that needs to be amplified, and then there is one in editorial YX, and he got a PPO internship offer in Slice. And he was actually a student of Coding Blocks data science master course. So he actually, I guess, he started when the Corona actually hit. So it was a live batch, and me and Mohit Bhaiya was there as the mentors, and he was totally into the course. So we already knew that he's going to do something great. But anyways, we have a lot of time to discuss about that. So hello, Chitwan.
Hi, Manu Bhaiya. Hi, everyone. I'm really happy to share my experience with all of you here.
Yeah, man. How are you, first of all? Are you fine?
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks. How are you?
Yeah, I'm also fine, man. I hope everybody is fine as well.
Yeah.
So, just Chitwan, I just want to start with, most of the time when students come to the batch or someone, whenever we go for workshops or something like that, most of the time students ask, how to get these kind of offers, that too in data science, with just your bachelor's degree, because you are, before that.
Yeah.
Chitwan is a 2022 BTech student in BTU, and he's a BTech student, and he has got offers for data scientist role. So make sure you keep that in mind throughout the entire interview. Okay. I just want to know that, how do you came up with this idea that you want to learn data science or something like that? Just give a gist about what those things were.
Sure. So upon entering college and exploring, so this data science was a buzzword. So it was there in the back of my mind, right? So I wanted to one day go ahead with that and explore it as well. And then this pandemic happened and everyone was stuck inside their homes. Now everyone had a lot of time. So it was happening for the first time. So college administration was also having no clue how to proceed with classes and whatever the college schedule is. So everything was for a while put on hold. Slowly it everything took up and they started online class and whatever. But for a while we had a lot of time in our hand. So instead of wasting it, binge watching all the time, scrolling through Instagram or whatever, I chose to pick up a new skill. As I said, this data science was a buzzword. It was in trend and always in back of the mind. So I started exploring a little bit. First, I found this free course by IIT Kharagpur on the data science and analytics, right? So it was a good course, although it didn't cover the in-depth concepts in depth, but still it gave me a good grasp, a little bit grasp on Python programming language, specifically libraries like Pandas, NumPy, and Matplotlib. It also introduced me to Kaggle, and I also made a capstone project because of which I started took my first steps, you can say, right? But still I was not satisfied with it because the content was limited and the grasp on concept was not that much, right? Then I went again on internet, reviewed a couple of courses. So one thing I clearly found, that one must take up an in-depth course. It shouldn't be just a 1 month long or few weeks long boot camp. You need to have a good comprehensive course which covered the concepts in depth, because that's what really matters. If you are going for a profile like data science, if you are applying a machine learning concept, you must have the know-how what's happening under the hood. And if you are approaching a problem statement, then which algorithm or which concept should be applied here. So for that, I also recommend that a comprehensive understanding of concepts is a must. So I went ahead with this Coding Blocks Data Science Master course. Again, I wanted an interactive one, so I went ahead with the live course. There I found great mentors like Manu Bhaiya and Mohit Bhaiya, who guided me throughout. And I must say about their knowledge, like you can say, if you put up any question, they would definitely be having the answer to that question. They have so much knowledge of the concepts that they are teaching or within the domain. So I was really satisfied with the teaching and with the problems, the practice problems that were there on the platform. yeah, so that was how I progressed into the course, right? I learned the concepts throughout. Also, they recommended me this book, Hands-on Machine Learning, using scikit-learn and TensorFlow. That also really helped me to get a grasp of concepts. So overall, a mix of the online course, practice exercises, and the book as well. So this all helped me learn data science. Started in learning data science and machine learning. Yeah.
How to cope up with the classes, and if those students, because you are in, you are only going to graduate in 2022, which is this year only. So you were in the course in 2020, right? 2 years back. And at that time you were actually in second year, I believe.
Yeah. Beginning of the third year, you can say.
Yeah, beginning of the third year. And you are from mechanical branch. So
Yeah.
everyone, you need to focus here as well. He's from mechanical branch. A lot of students out there actually ask, can they get something like this, some kind of an offer for data science profile or development profile or software, engineering side profiles. They ask that if they are from mechanical engineering or something like that, can I get their offer? Chitwan is here. He, actually proved that he can, and everybody else can get. So I just wanted to ask, how did you cope up with the college studies you have, like the university studies you have, which are like subjects that are not, related to data science? And how did you cope up with the two times classes in a week, and that too 4 hours, that I believe is right? So how did you, basically found time for preparation? How do you get through the course itself?
Yeah, that's completely valid question. How to manage stuff. Initially, as I said, the pandemic was, for the first time, everyone was forced to stay in their house, and no one had any clue how to proceed. So initially, I had a little time when the classes were cancelled, exams were cancelled. So I had time in hand. So I was able to manage the classes and the assignments simultaneously. But once everything started to progress, college also figured out how to proceed with semesters and all. So that time I faced a little difficulty in managing both. That too because I'm from a different branch. I'm not from computer science. So what my approach was, I followed my semester classes during the day. I would say that I gave more preference to the course, to the online course, because at that point I had this clear in my mind that I don't want to pursue my core branch, anything related to my core branch. And I wanted to put more focus on this data science and machine learning, because this is where I wanted to build my career, right? But still, I had to manage my subjects. I had to manage my assignments, college assignments. So I use my daytime, the time during the classes, and till the time the college was up and running, like till 4 p.m. in the evening, right? So I used to focus at that time on the classes. Took a hour break and then started up with my assignments, reading a blog or the book that I mentioned. And at 7 o'clock, usually we used to have classes, that too twice a week, twice or thrice, right? So, and I never missed a class, although there were options of recorded versions. But still, I chose to come every day because of the interaction that you can get only on the live classes and not on the recorded version. So that's why I chose to attend every single class, and I never missed a class, right? So yeah, during the evening, I focused completely on this course, whatever concept was being taught. And talking about how to progress in the course, let's say if today there was a class on linear regression, then first thing I'm going to if I am able to grasp the concepts within the class, that's well and good. But if not, I'll rewatch the session again and then read up a couple of blogs from towards data science or medium, right? Read relevant material, right? Reading is also very important, that because in class you cannot cover everything. So you have to refer to extra resources. Internet, and if you'll go to internet, you'll find plenty of material. Pick up some good resource, online resource. Again, the book Hands-on Data Science, that also really helped me with the concept. So with all these reference materials, I I was able to get a hold on concepts. Then I went on with the exercises that were on the portal, that were on the platform, Coding Blocks platform, right? So solve the MCQ questions, or if there was a use case, data science use case, I applied the concept there. And this is how I progressed during the course. And I also made sure that I don't keep a lot of backlog, right? And and try to be what do you call it, sincere with the course, right? So that's one crucial rule to follow. The sincerity is really going to help you a lot. If there's going to be backlog, there's always going to be in back of the mind that, oh, I have this much course to cover now, how will this happen, how will colleges work? But if you are doing everything with a schedule, trying to manage your time properly, I think it can be easily be managed.
The next major question that students basically ask is, how do you manage or how do you plan your studies after the course? So it's not just for Coding Blocks course or any course that you take, either it's interactive or let's just say recorded videos. Let's just say once you are covered with the entire topics that the instructor wants to teach, after that, how do you what was your journey entirely, like your self-study plans, then how do you got your offers, your internships or anything like that?
Yeah, so again, I must say that once the course ends, that does not mean the learning has stopped or you know everything now. Data science and machine learning, it's a such a big domain. People do research in it. You cannot expect to learn everything in from an online course in just 6 months, right? So you have to carry on with the self study, right? And the hands-on practice, that's really important. So Kaggle is a really good platform, and there are a couple of other platforms like Analytics Vidya and HackerEarth, where you get to participate in hackathons. In fact, in Kaggle, you can just randomly pick a data set and start doing your analysis and modeling. There you can also you can read other people's approach. That really helps a lot because you get to know how other data scientists are operating, how they are approaching any problem, how they are solving it. So that really helps a lot. So one must drop this spoon feeding attitude that, okay, someone will always come and teach you and do this and that. One has to be a self starter and keep up with the pace that they had got during the course, right? Also, I must say that the mentors were always there even after the course. We were always connected. Whenever I faced any doubt, I WhatsApped my questions, my queries to both Manu Bhaiya and Mohit Bhaiya, and they were there to answer my queries. I never faced any in a negative sense that they're not replying after the course or whatever. So they were always there to support me. So yes, once you find your mentors, they're there to help, they're there to guide, but one must do everything. One has to do everything on their own, right? There has to be a time when you have to stand on your own feet and go ahead alone. So that's what really matters, to keep up with the self study, keep on referring reference materials. And one thing, this in technology sector, everything changes after certain period of time, 5 years, 10 years. So you also have to keep up upgrading. Like in our course, we covered research based topics like state of the art models like attention, transformers, GANs as well, right? So but the transformers is such a big subject, like such a big topic, that there are BERT based models or some other kind of models which cannot be covered in this entire 6 months. Or GANs is such a research based topic. In fact, they also touched upon the reinforcement learning, which is research based topic that Google research does, or big organizations do. So with these topics we can only touch upon in online courses, but if you want to proceed with that on internet, there's plenty of material. You've got to refer to them whenever you come across that particular topic. But I must say that for fresher level, I did not do much into reinforcement learning. That's not my interest as of now. I don't know about future. If things pick up, I might go into that as well. But one must at least have a good understanding of structured data science problems, tabular data science problem. Also also have some experience with unstructured, like NLP tasks and computer vision tasks as well. So yeah, that's what I have to say about this, that you must keep on learning using whatever material you find on the internet.
So now we, like me as well as all the other viewers, want to know what were your experience in applying to these companies and internships and getting job offers and things like that. So what were, like, we want to know after, like from the time frame after the course was ended, so then how things progressed.
Yeah. So as I said, one has to be sincere, like during the course. So one thing that gives you advantage, that when you're sincere with the course and you're covering the topics as they're covered in the class, as you're solving the problem statements and working on a little bit on projects from Kaggle, you are side by side building up your portfolio as well, your profile as well. You can mention those problems that were in the coding blocks platform exercises or use cases, or some of the data sets analysis that you did on Kaggle. You can use them as a projects on your resume. Also you can mention the certification that you get after the course with the resume, on the resume. Once you I also would advise to keep your resume updated as you progress during the course, right? Once the course has ended, you have covered significant amount of concepts that are required to start applying for internships. One thing I must say, that you will have to do internships. That is what really helps if you are a bachelor student and want to go into data science. No one will directly come up, give you any offer as a data scientist full-time role. Generally, if you will see, there will be criterion that we need 1+ year experience, 2+ year experience. There's very less job directly for freshers. So internships are a must. So it cannot be skipped, right? So once as I was building my profile along with the course, along with the projects that I had been adding, I started using Internshala for internships, and as well as making relevant connections on LinkedIn as well. I must say that LinkedIn has helped me a lot in getting opportunities. I had made very relevant connections on LinkedIn with people with whom to this day I have conversations with on the concepts on the topic data science and all, right? But yes, Internshala for internships and LinkedIn for both internships and jobs, right? So these two platforms are really important. So I had been applying for various data science roles on Internshala, right? So I got shortlisted in one of them. It's there's a company called Goals 101. So it's a fintech company. They have this finance-based product that they used to sell to banks, right? So I had interviews with them. So there were around 3 rounds. One was with the HR, where introductory call, where she wanted to know what all certifications I have done, what all knowledge I possess, technology, tech stack that I can work upon. So that was the initial call, right? Then there was there was this call with the, before the call, there was this assignment, right? So they handed over me a mock data set, and they had told me to do certain operations that didn't involve machine learning, that involved SQL, pandas, NumPy, basic data analyst based operations,
EDA type of
EDA kind of thing. And they wanted me to answer a few questions for them from the data set. Once they found my submission like fruitful, or you can say that up to the mark, they called me for the 101 interview session with one of the data scientists, right? So we had a discussion on the assignment, as well as he asked me about my projects that I worked upon. And from my projects, he cross-questioned me. Okay, if you're using this algorithm, then why did you use this algorithm and why not any other, right? And if you are doing a null value analysis, if you are imputing with a certain value, then why you are doing it? So you have to think through and answer the questions. You cannot say that, okay sir, there's this hard and fast rule. If you find null values, imputed with mean. That does not happen every time. There you must have the understanding of the problem statement of the data, of the distributions that the particular feature variable is following, and then you can impute the null value. So there's no hard and fast rule to anything, I must say, in data science. All it comes with experience and understanding and thinking analytically. That's really important, right? So that's what really helped me to answer the questions that they asked me. Then I also faced a case study. Case study was related to the product that they had, the service, the job that the product was doing. So they asked me, okay, if this is the problem, then what should be the relevant variables that you should pick up?
Okay.
So what do you think that variables would affect the target variable? So you have to think, okay, if this is the problem statement and I'm going to predict this, then what are the possible factors that could help me in predicting this, right?
So this was your first internship, right? Internship.
Yeah, this was my first internship.
You were applying. So I would say
In
that
data
most
science.
of the
In data science,
in data science. So I would ask, like, if I want to, kind of
sure.
conclude what you just simply said, that the first experience that you had with the interview was more or less about EDA, right? So the more you were experienced with EDA, the better you could perform on that particular interview, right? Okay. So then what happened? Like next was your phase of what?
Then I was a second round with the engineering manager, right? So there he asked me a couple of machine learning questions, like, okay, if you are using this algorithm, what is happening under the hood, right? And also asked me if you have any knowledge of deep learning as well. So I had knowledge of deep learning. I had studied deep learning, so I was able to answer the deep learning questions as well. So these were the 3 rounds that I had for that internship, and I was gratefully selected for the role.
So it was for 6 months, 3 months.
3 months. It was for 3 months.
3 months. Then after 3 months, like, how did the job market look for you?
It became a little easier because now I had projects as well as internship in my hand on my resume, right? So I had a little experience now. Now I know how to. Also, the people there guided me a lot how to go about jobs and how to, work further. So, although there was a PPO-based option, but I was still in my 3rd year, so I couldn't directly join. So I had to go, but by that time I had received an offer from got shortlisted for delivery again for data science internship role. This time a college had allowed because they were not able to provide us hands-on experience as there were no labs, right? So they allowed us to take up internships outside if we can find, or those who were not able to find, they could go under any professor to work whatever subject they wanted to do. But I thankfully had found. So in this I must say LinkedIn helped me. So when you have relevant connections, when you've made relevant connections from the industry people, they put up posts, okay, that we are hiring for this role, we are looking for this role, and we are looking for these many people, we are looking for these skills. Also they put up their emails or whatever the means of contact. So I sent my resume. Thankfully my resume got selected, right? And again, first round was an assignment. So I was given this Kaggle problem. It's very famous on Kaggle, the hotel analysis kind of problem. So what was the problem statement was, so there was this data set from a hotel in any European country, right? So there were 2 types of hotel. One was a resort and one was some other kind of hotel, right? So I had to create a story from the data. That's really important, and the data analysis should make sense. One should be able to visually see what are you trying to do with the data, because that one must keep in mind that in data analysis, whatever you are doing should be simple, easy to understand, and it should not have any jargonish language, because at the end of the day you are going to explain your results to the business stakeholders who are not data scientists. So your explanations, so your results should make sense analytically as well and in the business sense as well, right? So I had to tell this story with the data using plots and analysis and through numbers. And also I had to there was a target variable, whether the booking made by the customer in that hotel what is the probability of it getting cancelled. So that's a classification task, but I had to output the probability scores, that with this much probability I can say that the booking will be getting cancelled, right? So they specifically, they were looking for there was more emphasis on the analysis part and a little on the predictive modeling part.
Yeah, so I just want to add some points to the viewers that this just simply means that, most of the time students ask, just mugging up a lot of algorithms, will that actually work in the case of when you're going for a real life job or something, interview?
Yeah.
Like that. So it won't work. That's what Chitwan basically means. Okay, right?
Definitely.
You can't just simply memorize some algorithms and then you can go and sit there. So you need to have deep understanding as to what you're doing, and that's what the tutors also are looking for.
Yeah,
So
along with the analytical thinking, how will you approach the problem? Directly, we should not start, okay, this algorithm. One must approach the problem analytically. Who knows that the solution is not even an ML based solution? In this, I experienced in my internship that we could have gone with the ML solution, but at that point we saw that it was an overkill. A simple solution already existed to that problem, right? So thinking analytically also helps a lot, right? As I said, minimum jargon and more sensible things that make sense, because solving business problems are a little different from solving Kaggle problems, because the outcomes have to be implemented on ground, so the solution has to be feasible, right?
more interpretable, right? It's
more interpretable, definitely.
Achieving the highest accuracy and things.
Definitely, because at the end of the day, the goal is to solve the business problem and help the business.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So then you had delivery. Then I guess you got the full-time offer from.
Yeah. By the end of the delivery internship, I was pretty confident. In fact, I had this much confidence. If any interview is going to come in my way, I will be able to crack it. Right. So I had confidence with my problem solving, with the concepts or programming language. So query languages like SQL. So I had confidence, but that does not mean that I cracked every interview. I faced rejections as well. So I gave interview for HackerEarth for a machine learning role. I was not able to crack it. The reason that I could think of is they also asked me data structure algorithm questions. At that point, I was not very good with that, but I realized that, okay, any interview can ask you whatever he or she knows. So one must always be prepared. From then, I restarted my journey and started learning DS Algo as well. I am not a very competitive programmer or a very, 5-star or 6-star at CodeChef or anything. But now at this point, I understand DS Algo concepts as well. I am able to approach easy and medium kind of problems. So one must always remember that different organizations have different ways of interviewing the candidates. So one must not stay limited and try to cover whatever he or she can. As I said, at that point, I had felt comfortable with my concepts and I was confident. Simple was a pretty easy. I would not say very difficult as it was on campus. So generally on campus interviews involved.
Pretty lenient, given the fact that you are a student there, right?
Yeah. So first was a DS Algo rounds again, as well as some aptitude questions. So that was easy to medium level. And one was hard, which I was not able to solve, but rest out of 15 questions, I was able to solve 14 questions and most of them correctly. So that's why I cleared the first round. And the second round was again from my resume, from my projects. How did I think while solving the problem? If I've taken a step, I have used a particular thing in the project. Why did I do it? And is there any alternative to that? And there were many if and else's there. Like if I interview asked, if I do this to this data set or change this with the problem statement, how will you approach it? Right. So you have to think analytically again. That will only come when you have enough hands-on practice, enough understanding of the concept, right? Because things are very vast. A problem can be solved with various different algorithms. A text NLP problem can also be solved with bag of words, as well as it can also be solved with RNN or transformer networks. But again, depends on the use case, depends on the restrictions if there are any, constraints if there are any. So you have to take into account those as well, right? If you said that okay, I'm going to solve it with LSTM or neural networks, but the interview said okay, we don't have GPUs, or we don't have that infrastructure to deploy these advanced things. Then how will you? The problem had to be solved anyway. Then you can go ahead with a simple bag of word based approach if there's a text based problem, which do not require the use case of GPUs or any advanced infrastructure. So thinking analytically is again is the really important. For editorialist YX, that was a little you can say a little challenging for me, because to be very honest, that the data scientist that I found there, the interviewer who's currently my manager as well in my internship, that person knows things in and out. So he asked me questions in depth. He asked me about SVD, what is SVD, what are the three matrices in SVD, which generally
singular value decomposition.
Singular value, again, jargonish and some technical terms, but the main, again, my main motive is to explain that he knew in depth. He had the knowledge of the concepts in depth. He had a master's from UK, from Scotland, so in data science and machine learning. So he was an expert, right? He had in-depth knowledge. So he was cross-questioning at every time step, right? So he wanted to be clear. He wanted to make sure that he's picking up the right candidate. So that was the technical round. Again, after that, go home assignment, take home assignment, a classification problem. There, machine learning was focused. Approach, machine learning, both. There was an NLP text-based problem, right? So again, take home assignment, and after that, once they found the take home assignment up to the mark, the round with the engineering manager. That was, I will not say technical, I mean much in-depth technical, but again on problem solving. How do you approach a data science problem? What are the steps? What is the entire data science pipeline? Right? How do you impute null values? Again, explain the problem statement entirely from beginning to end, to the end. Again, end-to-end implementation of the problem. Some of the questions on first initial question was different type of machine learning in supervised, and reinforcement. What is the difference between the three? And is this unsupervised or a supervised learning problem, and how to approach it. In fact, one of the points that he liked about me, that he asked me, okay, if you don't know, it doesn't matter. But I still said, no, okay, give me a minute, I'll still try to think about it and if I can approach it or not. So they also see how are you, what is your, attitude towards a problem. If you are given a problem, do you randomly skip it just because he said it, or you still give a little bit of thought if you can do that or not, right? So that also interviewers look into the candidate. So these are some of the experiences that I faced.
So that's great. That I believe gives people a closure about what to expect in interviews and things like that. But then there is another question that again comes up with students. That one, you have already answered, that the role of data structures in data science. The second most major question that I have come across with students is, what is the role of mathematics in data science? Like how much you need to know mathematics, or how much you need to practice mathematics to get to getting offers and things like that. So what was your entire experience with mathematics before the course, during the course, after the course? Then how did you keep on learning mathematics, and what was your entire, I would say, on a scale of, let's just say 10, how much mathematics were there in the course interview itself? Like how much kind of questions were there? So yeah.
So before the course, my mathematics was decent, good, you can say. Not a very genius level, but not very bad as well. I was able to solve a little complex concepts as well, like algebra, calculus. So I didn't had much problem with that, right? And which was a part of machine learning. What is machine learning? AI at the end of the day, it's mathematics and mathematics only, right? That's specifically comprised of linear algebra, probability, and statistics. So these three are the most important topics that one must follow. So I must say that mathematics I still keep on learning, right? So you are again, as learning will never stop. You will have to refer to resources, concepts again and again. So during the course, I started getting a grasp on mathematics, and by the end of the course, I had significant knowledge, but still there were concepts, there were some concepts or derivations or that I covered only after the course, like the what is the exact in-depth mathematics of PCA, right? That I covered from a really good resource. So there's a book called Deep Learning by Ian Goodfellow, right? So in the initial chapters, it covers this linear algebra in very simple terms. So from some of the YouTube channels and right again from internet, I found mathematical concepts. Mathematics is really important. Even if you are not seeing it from the interview point of view, one must learn to be a good data scientist. You should have the knowledge of mathematics and concepts like linear algebra, probability, and statistics. Because at the end of the day, the algorithms are derived from these mathematical models or mathematical functions only. To have an in-depth knowledge of algorithms, one must have a grasp on mathematics as well. Talking about interviews, um, most of the interviews were lenient on mathematics. In delivery, I faced 2 or 3 probability questions that were solved using Bayes theorem, right? And in editorialist, as I said, the interviewer had in-depth knowledge of the algorithms, so we went ahead into the mathematics. As I said, in SVD there are 3 matrices. Then he said, what are inside these matrices? Eigenvectors, eigenvalues. What are eigenvectors? What are eigenvalues? Right. Explain eigenvectors to me in if you are explaining it to a 80-year-old woman who doesn't has any mathematical knowledge in layman terms. So one must have an understanding of concepts that you are able to explain in layman terms as well. No definitions, again, no jargon, simple, plain language. That's the level of understanding one must have of anything in data science, specifically mathematics.
So I would say, what on a scale of 10, what's your experience in math?
Okay, so I would definitely go to 8 on editorialist in terms of mathematics. While, yeah, in simple, I also will say 6 to 7. That he asked me a couple of laws. Okay, you can solve this using this law of the available in statistics, right? So more or less, you can say you can find again, the interviewer will cross question you on terms of your projects, and within those cross questions or within the concepts that you've applied, he or she will put up a mathematical question. So you can say that you can expect at least a couple of questions from maths in every interview.
I would like to ask one last question. That's again, very important from a student's perspective. How much time should one, put into data science or this particular whatever they are doing? Let's just say self-studying or maybe taking a course or anything. What is the time frame that they should aim for, that they will be able to at least apply for some internships and then crack the interviews and things like that, like 6 months, maybe 1 year? What do you think?
Again, as I said, learning never stops. It should be a continuous process. But from a beginner to an intermediate or decent level, 6 to 8 months are enough that you will be ready. In fact, after the course, you should, if you are following it sincerely, you should be able to apply for internships. Yeah, and then you'll have to keep on progressing. If you have certain goals, if you want to go at a particular company or somewhere, so there has to be a continuous learning of and revision of concepts.
So that's great, Chitwan. So that basically answers a lot of questions as to what a lot of students who are actually starting data science has, that maths and data structures are required, and maths more or less you have to be good at this. So now it's like kind of like an footnote that if you're not good at mathematics, you can definitely get good at mathematics. It's not like you have to be born with some special talents or something like that. But that's just a footnote for those who are not confident about their math skills. So we have seen and heard what Chitwan actually did, in the past couple of years, and from 20, I would say, in 2020 until now. So what are your, current plans and future plans looks like, Chitwan, like in the company and your as to your, professional goals and things like that?
So the future plans currently, I want to work. I want to explore the corporate sector in data science. So I want to give a few years in this field as while working. Then I would love to pursue a master's in this domain as well. Is the domain only, right? So these are the future plans. Along with this, I've started this new initiative of providing data science content in terms of blogs and LinkedIn posts. So I've started this my own blog post website. It's called keepingupwithdatascience.wordpress.com. So where I put up conceptual content, how to get jobs or internships, or how to grow your LinkedIn network and how to connect with data scientists, and solving use cases as well. So that's what I have started to do.
That will be a great resource for students. So I will put the link on the description for all the viewers.
That would be great.
Yeah, and you people can actually follow Chitwan, and we will be sharing his more experiences and day-to-day life and other data science related things in his blog post as well as in LinkedIn, right? And anything else, Chitwan, that you want to add, like as a final note, I would say, like, let's just say, what is that thing that you want to tell a junior of yours who is actually starting data science? What is that?
Utilize the time in hand, right? So if you want to do something in life, start preparing from now and start learning. Keep on learning, do not stop. Rejections will be there. Do not get saddened by those, right? Eventually success will come. And I also come across people who say that, okay, the courses are really expensive, it shouldn't be this much expensive, or we cannot afford it. I find it a little two-sided, because at the same time people are spending the same amount on clothing, footwear, etc. But I must say that it is a resource, and you will be able to make much more than the course price if you are able to follow the course sincerely. From personal experience telling, I was able to cover the entire fees after my first internship only.
So that answers that as well, I guess. So that's another basic question that students.
Yeah. You can say it's an investment.
Yeah, right. So not just coding blocks courses, there are other courses as well. So
obviously,
if it is paid, then like Chitwan said, it's kind of an investment. It's investment on you, and so you should do it if you are really into it. So thank you so much, Chitwan, for giving us the time.
Thanks a lot for giving me the opportunity.
I mean, you have given us the opportunity to actually, get through all the experience. It's been a great, I would say, session, and I guess all the viewers had a lot of understanding as to what things are and what can go wrong and what can't go wrong, and some major questions as well that you answered. And for all those unresolved things that you have in mind for viewers, I'm saying, you have anything, you comment there and follow Chitwan. You can directly connect with him on LinkedIn.
Yeah, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'll be happy to help.
Yeah, so he will definitely be there, and he will respond to you all people.
Definitely.
If you have any doubt, if you are beginning with it, if you are thinking of beginning with it, then just connect with him, and you can actually get the right industrial experience and exposure directly from him, right? So thank you so much once again, Chitwan, and thank you for the viewers as well for waiting so far to the end of the video, and I hope and give all the best to you for all your future endeavors and all the viewers as well. So thank you, man. Thank you.
Bye.